What's up, guys? Sean McCoy, photography here today, and I want to talk about creating through doubt. Let me grab some coffee. Before we get started, just be sure, if you like the content that I produce, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The pandemic has been really challenging for me as a creator, and I just want to open up a little bit today about some of those difficulties that I've encountered, in the hopes that, if you're going through something similarly, that you understand you're not, going through it alone. So last year, around this time, during the start of the pandemic, when everything was shutting down, I brought it upon myself. I was like, this is an opportunity for me to just create something new every day. I'm gonna create. And for the first, 2 weeks, I was producing something every day, and kind of, forcing myself to, in a way where it made me feel happy. It made me feel like there was, joy or purpose in my life. But eventually, after 2 weeks, 1 month, the reality kind of set in that the pandemic was here to stay, and creating things in my living room started to become a little bit existential and uninspiring, and it didn't feel like the world outside was a safe place to go and shoot. And so, ever since that moment, I've kind of lived in this, I've been trying to recover from okay, how do we create? How do we find inspiration? How do we build, I guess, build content in a way that I want to during the pandemic? And to be honest, I haven't exactly discovered that. Most of the shoots that I've been doing, if not all of the shoots that I've been doing, have really been limited in the structure and the flexibility and the creativity around COVID. I haven't shot anything inside. Well, I shot one thing inside, an interview for my job, but it was one of those things where I set the camera up before, set everything up before, did the tests, hit record, and then stepped out of the room and prayed to God that everything worked. And that was not, a way that anybody wants to create. And so this year for me, I'm entering, it's 1 year almost from COVID, and I'm looking at my work, and it's bringing on a lot of doubt. It's bringing on a lot of, have I grown? Have I been able to, is this the right path for me? And it's, it's not, when I say that, I want to be clear, I love doing this. I think about it all the time. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, this is the thing I want to do. I've gotten this feeling that everything I've done, everything I've created, all the praise that sometimes people give me, I can't take that in, because parts of me look back on things that I've done even in this year, and I'm like, am I even good? And I've been an artist in a lot of different forums. I, started training as an actor, and I would encounter these kind of voices of doubt before, of, is this something you should be doing? Are you good? Are you bad? And I've always come to the conclusion that ultimately it's not my decision to make. It's not my decision to make whether my work is good or bad. That's not my role. I'm creating something to tell a story. I'm creating something to speak truth to something, to illustrate a perspective. And so the question is how do you create from a place of doubt? For me, what I'm working on, and I say working on because I don't want to come off to say that, I have an answer for this question. I'm very much in process with this, and I'm very much dealing with this in the present moment. However, doubt is a type of fear, and fear likes to keep things small. So when I doubt something, when I doubt myself in particular, it means that I'm not taking the kind of risks with my work. It means that, in some cases, that doubt creeps in before I've even done anything, and I'm like, should I even be doing this? And then I never do it. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I think the best way to approach creating from doubt is one, to slow down. I think it's worth reflecting on what it is that I'm feeling doubtful about. What are some of these, fears that I have that I'll never be this, I'll never be that? And ultimately, does it come down to like me comparing myself to others? There's a lot to learn from other people. And then how is that doubt manifesting? Is that doubt ultimately keeping me from doing the thing that I want to do? Is it keeping me from exposing myself to things that I'm not comfortable with, which in turn could be keeping my work in a box? And so I think, when you start to doubt yourself, when I start to doubt myself, it's kind of a signal for me that it means that the thing that I'm afraid of the most about my work, I'm going to attack directly on. For me, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but for me, like, I don't create for long enough, like a long enough period of time. I start to lose the of creating, like if I go like 3 weeks without making something, that's like 3 weeks for my body to adjust to not creating something. And so then starting to create again becomes like, well, will I ever do it again? But as soon as I go out and as soon as I put myself in a place where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking film something, I need more, I crave more, I do it more. So I think just, keep putting yourself out there, especially right now during COVID, it's a perfect time to work on like personal projects if there's not business that's coming in. I'm doing a lot of stuff about the environment, a lot of stuff about nature, and that is so exciting for me. Like that motivates me to go out and create. So, try to be kind to yourself. I think doubt is a really good indicator of the thing you should be doing. Pay attention to it and also understand that it's a part of yourself. You don't have to beat yourself up because you are doubting your work and you think, your work isn't as good as it could be. We're all in process. Nobody's work is where they think it should be. And sometimes doubt tells you exactly where it is you should be going. So that's all I wanted to talk about with this video. I know there's a lot going on in the world and there's a lot as we start to open up, there's a lot of things to be excited about. So I'm making this now kind of at the edge of, or end of what I have been dealing with the last 3 months. And now, finally going into this place where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do this. I've been sitting on all these projects for the last year. I'm gonna do them. Hopefully if you've been sitting in that kind of, or cycling through some of this has been helpful for you. But I really appreciate it as always. Thank you guys for listening and check in next time. Take care.